Welcome back to Student Tutorials. In this video we're going to be showing you how to connect your existing circuits to an ESP, and then we're going to be going outside to Professor Square to show you the range of ESP-NOW. Now we're going to move over to Shaun to show you how to connect your circuit to an ESP.
So what you see in front of you here, if you watched the breadboarding video series, you'll see the same circuit that we used to create our final design. What we're going to be doing though, instead of connecting to an Arduino, is we're going to connect to this little board here, the ESP32. What we have to do is these pins are going to slot into our board. But of course, you can see that when we turn this over, there are no labels on these pins. It's worthwhile when trying to figure out which pin you've connected things to have a second ESP so that you can read off which pin is actually which. I've taken a note of which pins I'm going to be using, so I do not have a second ESP here with me. So what we're going to do is we're just going to plug this into our board as so. It can be quite difficult to push in, and it also becomes very difficult to pull it back out. But we're just going to have to give it a bit of a force, and there we go, we're in. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to be bringing over our wires. This red one here is our 5-volt supply, and this is to go into the bottom left hand pin. I'm going to have to use the slightly longer wire that I have here. Thankfully I did have one spare. So we're going to connect to port 1 and column 30 here. Next what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to connect our 0 volt, which goes into the one just above that. So into column 29 this goes. It can be a little bit awkward to push them in, as you're probably aware by now. Okay. So I'm going to just take this wire that I've taken out and I'm going to plug this back into where I had the other one. Just here. There we go. And now these COM wires, the yellow ones, these have to come over to the COM ports. There are many COM ports in the ESP, but I've decided I'm going to use COM ports 2, 3, 4 and 5. So I have to find them on the pins here, which is, this one here is number 2. Then we have number 3, which is going to be this wire. Or sorry, I'm going to use this one as number 4 because I just noticed our other wires are short. So I'm going to plug this one in here. This one then comes into the one before that. And then this extra red wire here, in the Arduino series, you're probably aware that we use an extra library. We use a different library to the one for the breadboarding series, where we have to define the voltage pin for the T-SIC. So I'm just connecting this red wire in here so that we have that ready to be defined. You can use any of the digital pins or the I/O pins on the ESP to connect all of these wires in. I just used the ones on the same side just to make it look that little bit neater. Now, as you can see, we have everything completely connected in and our circuit is ready to go. If you were connecting the solar panel in, you would have to define one of these pins to be a VN, but that is for you to figure out when you create your own ESP code. Now that we've got this out of the way, we're going to move over to Professor Square and we're going to demonstrate why we've in fact connected it to the ESP in the first place.
Okay, we're in Professor Square and we're going to see how far the ESP can transfer data. You can see they're walking away and they're still getting data. As you can see, we only stopped getting data when we got to the other corner of the Professor Square, and even down the steps a little bit. If there was no obstacles, we could have gone even further. Anyway, That brings us to the end of this mini-series and the end of the Arduino series as a whole. I hope it was helpful, and thanks for watching.